Welcome to day 3, game 3 of the 75th Gilley Shield here from West Beach, South Australia on beautiful Gunner land. Today we're going to see in the third game the ACT Diamonds, who've just gone down to New South Wales, play the Queensland Heat, who also have just lost their first game of the day in a heart-stopper right in the 7th to Victoria. So both games desperate for a win. And for those that were with us on the coverage before, joining me is Peter Williams, the son of a softball legend, Jill Williams, who's ironically sitting next to him, which is just how this thing seems to work out.
I'll best behave myself on this occasion, I think. Got the boss next door to me.
That's it. Thanks for joining us again, Pete. Thank you for everybody else that's joining us. So for the ACT Diamonds, it's their race. It's Lauren Parker, the New Zealander who's come over and pitched a great effort in the 2022 Gillies, and she's back and she's improved, and here she's facing the lead-off for the Queensland Heat. It's the right fielder, Rena Tsutsumi.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Two teams trying to come for a bounce back. ACT weren't that disappointing against New South. Once again, a couple of home runs, just pushed runners around the base for them. But to score a run is something that every other team, bar South Australia, to that point in time, had found difficult. Someone goes up a bit high. Yeah,
it's well, we're starting to get to the pointy end. You know, we're only halfway through the tournament, but it's a race now as we're in round 2. ACT desperate for a win, but they've been so close. But the Heat, having led against Victoria in that last game and now lost that, all of a sudden that brings the Titans back into the frame. So all of a sudden this game for the Heat becomes super important. This is 4 points for them. They need this in a big way. So we'll see both teams going hard at it. Victoria have got another game later today as well. And over on the other diamond, it's SA and WA. Rena Tsutsumi has picked a walk.
She makes herself up to first, and coming up to bat now for Queensland is Tamika Whitefield.
Yes, the impressive second base athlete. Again, somebody we saw at the last Gillies in 2022, and as with so many of these players, their improvement in just a short period of time, over 8 or 9 months, super noticeable. Shows bunt. Tsutsumi comes off the ACT defense. Jumps to protect the base. When we get a second, Pete, I'll get you to do a run around the diamonds, because you'll do a much better job than I will. Whitefield puts the short game away and throws her hands and fouls it off behind the catcher.
Yeah, at the end of the next out, we'll go around the bases.
Go for it. Whitefield, good watching. For those that who were with us in that previous game, there seemed to be an injury to Kaloni Salou out at right field. Just happy to know that I've checked in with the team. She's 100% A-OK. It was more of a precaution. Whitefield fouls off. So sounds like the ball's copped her in the face, and there had been a previous incident there. So it was more a bit of a concern rather than something that was actively had happened. So she's 100% A-OK.
Rightly so. Checking head injuries. Gets up over the third base there with the bounce, advances the run around, and a little letter out at left field, pushes into a 2 base, and the runner advancing to third. So a nice piece of the hit there as she calls time and gets rid of the arm guard.
So Sam McCready out there at left field for the ACT Diamonds. Tsumi's pushed all her way round to third base. At second base, it's Whitefield bringing the Olympian centre fielder Jade Wall to the plate. It's none out. Runners at 2 and 3. We're in the top of the first. Queensland v ACT. Jade Wall wastes no time as she doesn't time up that, but still gets enough of it to push it all the way down the third base line. Important game for Queensland. Can't stress that enough. It's so difficult half an hour after a heart-stopping loss that you've then got to come up and face another team desperate for their first win. That's why it's the Nationals. That's why we love it.
The bigger challenge too being the second time round, where obviously any loss now just puts you that little bit behind when it's so cluttered up between second, third, fourth.
Well, while we're doing this, Pete, down on Diamond 2, SA, after a tremendous win over New South Wales this morning, they're playing the Western Australia Flames. It's their first game of the day for WA, so they're fresh, they're ready to go. They're in the 4 right now. And so Wall chases up. That's a great pitch by Lorna Parker as she retires the Olympian.
Yeah, good pitch there. She chased a high one and ended her with a bit of a tough finish to that bat with runners on second and third, but Suzuki Yamane comes up to bat.
Already Homer set a ball over the outfield fence in the first game with a 2-run home run that scored her and Whitefield in the game just before this one against the Titans. So we know she loves this field. So this field completely different to the one down on Diamond 2. Hardly any wind out there. The sun now beating down on the diamond. The cloud cover's broken up. It's a beautiful day. She shows bunt as she goes for a squeeze as Tatsumi crosses the plate. If it was in play, it would have been successful.
Yeah, it was a nice little bunt, just unfortunately kicked back on her, and the ACT coach no doubt going to ask if she was in the box. Just having a look and pointing at the ground.
Yeah, Coach Carroll just checking in with the catcher Sam Robin. Did a great job in the last game. I mean, thoughts out for happened to be a catcher back-to-back games at a national championships, if you don't mind, on a 25-minute break. So hats off to you, Sam Robin. She was super impressive in that first game. Super alert, jumped up, a couple of great throws, just missed on a steal attempt. Yamane fouls it off as she stays alive in the count. Runners at third and second. In scoring position, it's only one out. Good discipline. She stays off that one as it passes on the letters. The powerful Brooke McNamara is the on-deck batter. We'll keep you up to date with the scores on the other game. Of course, Yamane goes up the middle with a great single shot. Ball comes in. Coach Jenkins holds up his runner at third, but not before Tatsumi has already gone on to score as Queensland take an early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it's a good piece. That was a very hard hit, straight back through the pitcher out to the centre field. You had the runner there, Tatsumi, who came home. Tamika Whitefield, she looked, but she held up. It was a good throw that was coming in from the centre field, and the advance to second by the batter.
The powerful Brooke McNamara, capable to go to the fence at the drop of a hat. Super athlete, one of the pitchers of the Queensland Heat as well. She's the DP flex in this game. Shows bunt as Coach Jenkins, for the second time in the first innings, has tried a squeeze play. Both unsuccessful. Showing how desperate Queensland are, I think, to get some runs on the board.
I think Queensland would want to absolutely pile them on here as quickly as they can, get this game over and done with. We did see, though, out in the on the other diamond, ACT are not a pushover team. No. They can be very, very attacking with the bat. And defensively, there was hardly an error made in that last game. It's just the power of New South Wales with the hits.
They did some great fielding. There were some great plays. I mean, in five batters, they had 3 hits against Kaya Parnaby, no less, all to left field. But started deep in their lineup. It was 7-9-1 who got that start. 7-9-2, sorry, that got that started. So, yeah, the ACT, they'll be desperate.
They made a lot of back contact too, just a lot of fouls, a bit late on the pitch, obviously, with Parnaby's speed.
And great pitching by Parker, as the enthusiasm that the Queensland Heat have for the contest early is being matched by the Diamonds, as Parker's just throwing back-to-back strikeouts against Jade Wall and Brooke McNamara, if you don't mind.
Rhiannon Kemp comes up to bat now. A fair bit of hitting out to the left-hand side of the diamond for the tournament for her.
Yeah, one of the talented under-23 players from the Queensland team that won the under-23s back in 2022. And yeah, she's evolved into very much a required part of the Queensland Heat lineup. Great outfielder, great hitter. This one here, she's hit on the up, got right underneath it, and she's flied that out foul down the third baseline.
It was a good swing. She got there just early on it, but made good contact with it. ACT will be looking to squeeze his third out without either of those two runners coming home.
Good watching.
Halfway through the lineup now for Queensland. They've all had a look at this picture so far, that top six.
Yeah, Parker's been super impressive. The evolution in her game from in the last Gilley Shield in 2022, she did a mountain of work, and she was their number 1, 2, and she did a heap of it. And so far this tournament, they've been able to use her more aggressively to attack games, and you know, she's showing some of that class today. I mean, you don't strike out Wall and McNamara if you don't know what you're doing. So she's a rising talent for New Zealand, and good to see that she's gone back to the ACT team and just continuing to get better every time you see her. She's in a battle right now with Rhiannon Kemp. It's 2 out for the Heat. They've got runners at 2 and 3. They've scored 1. Opportunity to try and break this game open early. And Kemp just takes a great pitch on the inside.
That was a 50-50 line call, I think, and she would have been hoping the call went her way.
Kemp leans on it, goes out to deep left field as Sam McCready takes a good catch going back towards the fence. The Diamonds have retired the Heat, who had leave runners on at 2nd and 3rd, but not before they've gone and scored a run to go ahead 1-0.
Yeah, it was a good start by Queensland, getting runners on. Only the 1 run, probably a bit disappointing. They would have hoped to have got another couple of them home. But ACT just showing that defensive pressure, that they have the ability to match these teams when they're on their A game, and didn't really put a foot wrong there either.
So while the Queensland Heat meet just in front here of the dugout here, you can see that Coach Jenkins got him in nice and close. Game that means plenty of it. We'll get you to take us around the Queensland defensive lineup, Pete.
No worries. So Emily Solomon is pitching this game, or starting pitching this game. She'll be pitching to Jessica Road behind the plate, Maddie McLeod at 1st, Tamika Whitfield at 2nd, Taylor Evans at 3rd, Suzuki Yamani at shortstop, and then in the outfield from left to right is Rhiannon Kemp, Jade Wall and Rena Tatsumi, with Brooke McNamara the DP in this game.
Emily Solomon, very impressive in the under-23s. Did a great job in the final against the SA under-23 team in a great final that was 1-1 in the 5th, and she had to pitch a bit of the game previously as well. Super talented pitcher, obviously part of their defending under-23 title, because she was a part of the team that won it the year before as well. So Queensland showing some of their youth here as they attack this game. Alexis Cooper has been re-promoted to the top of the lineup as she's the DP leading it off here in the bottom of the 1st.
Interesting little handshake there from Jessica Road to the plate umpire, Brett Tyler.
I'll be happy to, and Pete, I'm going to save you all the grief that we'll get online from our great Queensland support that we get. In South Australia, that's how we pronounce her name, but in Queensland, it's Rodee.
Okay.
So
The Queensland lingo got me again. Row D.
Yeah, and trust me, I've been lit up more than once. I met her yesterday. What a character. Full of energy, great player, great person. And we had a bit of a laugh about it. She's got the helmet off here as she's gone back to the fence chasing a fly ball from the lead-off Cooper. So she's got a massive following in Queensland. She's super popular. And if we get her name wrong, they'll all be after us. So,
okay.
So
apologies to the Roadies and the Roadie family. I will call it Row D from now on.
There you go. She loves it too. She has a laugh. Great character. Solomon in the dirt. Cooper lets that go through.
Bit of a slip pitch, that one, I think. Hit the dirt a couple of metres in front of the batter.
Cooper gets underneath it, flies it out to left field as Rhiannon Kemp takes a good catch high, looking into the sun.
You're not going to get an easier catch than that early in the game to get your game started.
One of the greats of South Australian softball, Danny Moffat's just pointed out that up in Queensland, Peter, they speak a different language. So
I can guarantee you that. I've spoken to Danny many a times and I still don't understand what she's saying. Although she says that she's an East Coast, she's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Although I still call her South Australian.
That's right. Yeah, she'll be following the Queensland team in this game. She only has one. She only struggles with the SA Queensland games. So I think Danny sort of said the other day, it tends to work on who's in front.
May have spent some time in Canberra herself as well, I think. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
maybe still heartstrung.
That'll make that complicated. Claire Warwick, the Australian Spirit captain, has come to the plate. She's the second batter.
Now, I reckon I was about an 8 or 9-year-old lad when I first met Danny, and she was here with the under-19s for Queensland back in the, well, I won't give away the age, but a long time ago.
Jessica Rohde with that great catching style. You can see she gets nice and low, making sure that umpire Brett Tyler can see as much of the plate as she can. Rohde, she just gets the legs out.
It's almost a split.
Yeah, creates a great base. Warwick goes bang down the left field line. She hits a rocket. Last year's tournament MVP and best batter here on display against the young, talented Emily Solomon from Queensland.
Didn't play the last game, Claire, but up to last night it had 11 at-bats for 6 hits, 4 singles, a double and a triple, and a run batted in, batting at 545. So coming into this match, they saved her for it.
Fights off a low pitch to stay alive in the count here down the right field line. You can just hear both benches. This game, middle of the tournament, means a lot here as the ladder starting to take some shape as we head towards the finals on Friday.
I'm not sure what that pitch is she's trying. She's done it a couple of times and it's hit the dirt a couple of metres in front of the batter. So
in the 23s, she was worked in tandem with the impressive Zali Summers, and Summers goes up a lot as Solomon has what seems to be like not a peel drop, but she's obviously the low fast pitch is one of her go-tos, and you're right, she's just trying to find the radar and just get her timing here. I mean, throwing to Claire Warwick, I'd be just careful. I'd be throwing nowhere near where she could hit it. Other than that, should be pretty simple, right?
You've got to hope she makes a mistake.
Challenges her up in the zone. Warwick good enough to stay off it. Quick update for those that are watching us here down on Diamond 2. SAWA are in the top of the second. It's 0-0. And Solomon with a massive strikeout of Claire Warwick.
That is a confidence booster early on in a match, striking out someone of that ability in the first innings. taken 9 pitches to get her out, but got her in the end.
Some of the emerging talent on display here in Australia is just amazing. And the very next pitch from the next batter, Jamie Redcliffe, is a line drive rocket to centre field that for a moment looked like it might go over, but a great catch by the experienced Jade Wall. I think we've got a game on our hands here, Peter. I think
absolutely we do.
This looks like a shootout.
That hit there was smack bang out the guts of the bat, and Jade Wall, for what, with the wind blowing around, she just made that look absolutely easy. 5 or 6 quick steps back, glove up, in it goes, let's get off.
Well, in 30 seconds there, you've got a young, talented pitcher on the rise, pitching a strikeout against arguably one of the best hitters in the country right now. And the very next pitch, she goes 220 feet to the fence to get caught by an Olympian off a line drive shot. The game's got everything. If you've got an opportunity to come down and see some of the live action here at West Beach softball, at West Beach down here, you can see some great softball being played here on beautiful Ghana land. It's great on Spacequake Sports, and we love the fact that you're watching it. But if you get an opportunity in South Australia to come down and see it live, do it, because it's just amazing. These athletes, these just are all unbelievable. Maddie McLeod, the first base player for Queensland, is the next player up. As the impressive Lorna Parker leads off the top of the second with a strike.
Not sure if Maddie played the first game today, but she, up until that point, she hadn't had a lot to do in the tournament so far, so she'll be looking to put a bit of an impact on this game, that's for sure, and sell herself for the finals. As the hit goes there, just gets past the glove of the third base, out to the left fielder and up to first for a safe single. Gets the runner on early in the second innings.
It's a lead-off hit through the 6-5 hole for the first base, Maddie McLeod, setting up to the plate. Queensland's favourite, it's Jessica Rodee. Rodee lays down, good bunt. Parker gloves it clean, but Rodee's done her job as she's advanced McLeod to second with a runner in scoring position. Taylor Evans, the third base player, now has a runner in scoring position. It's one out.
And came in and did her job there. That was all that was needed. Get the run around, puts him into a scoring position now with only the one out.
For a brief second there, Evans shows maybe, just maybe, that a running bunt might be on the go, trying to get the ACT defence to move and cheat.
The speed in which she did that, I probably would have given myself whiplash if I tried that.
But she stays in it and fouls it off. She does the same again. The corners for the ACT not particularly interested in the short game that she's threatening here with the runner at 2.
Interesting, Maddie McLeod out at second, not wearing her gloves anymore, holding them.
Ball as good watching by Evans. Yeah, it's interesting. I know you can see some players, they hold the gloves so that when they slide in hands first, the gloves act as a bit of a cushion. I mean, they've all got their own individual styles, and that's the thing that we love about it. Some people leave them on, some people grip them. So I think the important thing is just to make sure you get on base, so you've got an opportunity to show your flair. So all good. Parker challenges Evans high. Evans chases and is
not an overly tall person herself, so going for a higher pitch there was interesting.
Levels the count up at 2-all. It's one out. We're in the top of the second. There's a runner at 2. Evans bounces it into the ground. Parker runs down quickly and gets it on the second bounce and makes a quick play over to Jamie Redcliffe over at first. But McLeod's taken the opportunity and advanced herself to third As we go back to the top of the Queensland lineup, it's the right fielder, Rina Tatsumi.
Made the most of her first step back, getting up to first with a walk. Took a few pitches to get there.
Don't underestimate her for her size. She's a powerful hitter. But she's already, in just the first couple of days of this tournament, she's shown a bit of everything. She's shown that she can play the game short, she can slap, but she can also drive in runs and hit the ball long and hard. Big crowd here for this particular game today. You can see down on the other side of where we are from the commentary position, the Australian selectors all in the house watching these two teams here off the eastern seaboard go at it. Diamonds chasing the Heat, 1-0. Tatsumi takes a strike.
Very watchful there, but that one just sneaking into the zone at the lower end. Of course, last time Queensland left a couple of runners on, so they'll be looking to make sure that they don't do that again here. ACT will be hoping that they can.
Change up and a good one from Parker as Tatsumi drives the ball on a couple of bounces down the first base line. It's 2 out here for Queensland in the top of the second. Maddie McLeod, the first base player, is at third. Tatsumi here, 2-2. Goes high across the letters. Tatsumi follows it up and fouls it off behind the catcher.
She's playing for her ball here, Tatsumi. She wants a good one out to the outfield. I would imagine she'd have some pretty speedy legs around the diamond herself as well.
And Parker already with big strikeouts against Jade Wall and Brooke McNamara in the first innings, follows it up with the Queensland lead-off. Rina Tatsumi, as the Heat leave another base runner on left on base, as McLeod stuck, stranded over at third. So the Heat 1, Diamonds 0, as we move into the bottom of the second here. 3 big strikeouts for Parker in just 2 innings of work, and they're all key players as well. That's the Tatsumi, Wall, McNamara. So definitely a case of game on. Coach Jenkins in front of us, so may have been a quick change there. Red Sox Softball Club up in Queensland shouting out some of their players. Emily Solomon on the mound, in the circle for them today. The impressive Dorinda Stone, Soraya Hampson, and also the statistician Shakira McCall. Lots of support for Queensland online, so they're watching their team take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the second. It's Rebecca McDonald for the Diamonds, leading off the second.
And there's been a change in the field here with Soraya Hampson coming in for Queensland and Tatsumi going to the bench out at right field.
McConnell goes high to left field. Good catch by Rihanna Kemp, her second so far in the game, for a lead-off out. Her counterpart, left fielder Sam McCready, comes to the plate. Solomon off pace, ball drops in the dirt. Good catching by Rhodey. Gets low. McCready inside out, flies it out to shallow right field as the ball goes towards the fence. 3 Queensland Heat players converge on it, and McLeod, Whitefield and the newly arrived Hanson. but she gets another opportunity. Count 1-on-1. McCready fouls this one off over the grandstand behind us. Falling behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You were saying earlier, Emily Solomon and Zali Summers work well together. I did notice down in the right field line there, Zali Summers just rolling the arm over, keeping warm, so maybe at some stage in the game she may come in.
Well, the one noticeable tactic that we saw that Queensland had in the 23s, and I'm not sure obvious tactics may be the right terminology, but it was well thought out, and the fact that Summers would just come in and attack the top of the zone, had an awesome change-up, would just hit the top of the zone, and then Solomon came in at the end and went the other way. Our reflex ball hit back at her, but what a great play by the Queensland shortstop, Yamane, as she chases over behind the pitcher and throws out McCready for the second out of the innings.
Yeah, I think the pitcher there will be pretty happy the shortstop came across and picked that up to get the out. Makes it a 1-6-3.
Yeah. We saw one of those yesterday by Stacey McManus when Gabby Plain got hit, and Stacey McManus had to actually go back the other way, throw it deep from the shortstop side, and had no right to throw the runner out, and she did. It's on the highlight reel at Spacequake Sports, televising all 34 games of this, the 75th Gilley Shield, being held in West Beach, South Australia, on the beautiful Ghana land. Wind picking up here late in the afternoon. It's beautiful sunshine. Perfect conditions to play softball, as long as you don't mind a bit of dust going and your paper flying everywhere around you as you try and read off of 16 pages of notes, but all good. Lots of support still online for both teams. Tell us where you're watching from, and we'll see if we can shout out where you're at, as Robin has grounded out to the right side of the diamond, and the Diamonds have been retired without any base runners in that particular innings.
Yeah, it's just the 3 up and 3 down in both innings, so struggling to get through their lineup at the moment. ACT, Queensland doing well in defence at the moment to hold that 1-run lead that they have. They'll be looking to try and advance on that if they can now, as they're starting to get their second turns at bat.
Yeah, well, we saw the 2 squeeze attempts in the first innings showing just how much Queensland are looking for the points in this game. They've just realised that this, for them, considering the loss to Victoria just then, it's an absolute must-win game for them. So, speaking of the ladder and what's going on there, the team that's currently in 4th place, the Western Australian Flames, they're battling the home state national champions down on Diamond 2, where we just were before, Peter, and it's a lot warmer here, I'll tell you that. It's the top of the 3rd, it's 0-0. You
were mentioning the wind here that just popped up a minute ago, and strong winds coming through, that's correct, but whatever it is here, times it by 4 at least, and that's what it's doing over the Diamond too.
Yeah, it's like you're playing in 2 different places. It literally is like a home and away venue. So just waiting for catcher Robin, who was the last out of that innings, to get the gear on. Leading off for the Queensland Heat this innings is their impressive second base player, Tamika Whitefield. Thanks for the shout out, Claire. We'll get right on it.
Tamika, my understanding, has been doing a little bit of time over in WA. Spent some time over there between the last Opens and this one. So obviously some trips overseas as well with the Australian teams and that involved as well, and getting picked in there. So she's very experienced, knows her stuff.
Super talented player. Thanks for the shout out, Claire. All sorted. Yeah, great athlete, great player. And yeah, why wouldn't you want to go over to Western Australia? It's beautiful. That being said, I don't know why you want to leave Queensland either. So go figure. Whitefield goes bang, doesn't get all of it, but she gets enough of it as it goes out to right field as Kalani Salu gets the ball, which ended up becoming a slow roller as Whitefield picks up her second hit for the day. A single to left and now a single to right.
Yeah, splitting the pitch of both sides there.
Jade Wall struck out in her first at bat. Something tells me she won't be doing that again here. Gone has Whitefield. Warwick straight over there and called out. And you can all of a sudden see Coach Jenkins has come out, as we see here on the Spacequake replay. It's a play where you can see Whitefield, she's slid past the tag as Warwick does a great job of catching the ball, and she's actually caught the ball effectively against her body, and it's Jenkins, Coach Jenkins, not happy, and the aggressive lead-off run.
I hate to tell Coach Jenkins, but it was the perfect call by my look. She slid around, but she's actually tagged her down on the hammy just before the foot's hit the base. It's a fantastic call, and I understand where he's upset. He would have rather have the runner on second, but it was the perfect call here. And that ball there probably would have advanced there anyway. Yeah,
well, traditionally, like normally what happens when you see a tag on a steal play like that, the shortstop, as they run in, they grab the ball and they're taking the glove to the player. If Warwick didn't actually have her glove there, that ball would have hit Whitefield. Yeah. And so Claire Warwick's basically just caught the ball on her and done a great job of doing that while she's moving. And I think that's why the Blue has gone and rung her up. So we love a bit of drama. We love a bit of theatre. We've got some early here. We're in the top of the third. It's all happening as the Heat trying to extend their lead over the Diamonds, as Parker carefully pitches around Jay Wall after striking her out in the first at-bat. And Queensland would have had runners at 1 and 2. As you can see, Coach Jenkins hand on hips down there at third base, thinking that with none out, he'd have Yamane swinging at the plate with runners at 1 and 2. Now he's only got Wall at 1. And she aggressively gets after the first pitch. Good mix here by the catcher, Sam Robin. Good mix by Lauren Parker too. They're both doing a great job here, just not letting the Queensland Heat hitters settle into any type of rhythm in regards to just mixing up the speed, not just the location, but this powerful Heat batting lineup. Goes up, Yamane goes with it. It's going deep. It's going over to left field. It goes over McCready at left field. Walls made it all the way to third with some great base running from first. And Yamane makes it to second for a stand-up double for the clean-up hitter from the Queensland Heat. We just see here on the Eastern replay, a difficult play for McCready. The ball does swirl a little bit because it's gone high, and Wall has judged it perfectly because she would have had to have tagged up. And when she could figure out that that ball wasn't going to be caught, she's used that, and Queensland now put themselves in aggressive positions as Coach Jenkins now thinks about, well, that means Whitefield would have scored.
Yeah, got a bit aggressive centre, got the good, and look, with that take out at second, the throw from the catcher was spot on.
Oh, how good was that? How good was it?
But a good double there, nice hit, strong hit out to the outfield. That gets your runners into scoring position now. Another big hit out to left field.
And it just keeps on happening here as McCready takes the catch off of McNamara. But McNamara's done the team job as she's hit a sacrifice fly to left field, and Wall scores. As you can just see here on the Eastern replay, good batting by the powerful McNamara. Just puts it high in the air, knowing that she's got some experience and speed at third base. And a great team at bat scores a run as Queensland extend their lead now to ACT 0.
Rhiannon Kemp comes up now for Queensland. The runner there just tagging up Suzuki Yamane at second. She didn't advance on that fly out to left field, so she's pretty quick off the base there though, so she's looking to get around as quick as she can if possible here, as we see a little foul go off.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier for Parker here. Kemp just has the capability to put the ball over at the drop of her hat, like so many of the Queensland Heat hitters. But again, that mix we were talking about earlier, great call by Robin, and a really well executed change-up by the pitcher Parker has Kemp swinging all over it.
Yeah, well early on that one. Was not ready for that pitch at all.
The shortstop Yamani on second base currently. It's 2 out. Question gets asked right on the edge. Count now, 2-2. Kemp fouls it off down the third baseline.
The catch here, Sam Robin did all the innings in the last game over on Diamond 2 as well, so she's doing the bobbing up and down behind the plate a fair bit here for ACT today.
Just putting the old coach's hat on there, just thinking whether or not I send Yamane to third base on the steal and try and get the left-hand catcher, have to throw around Kemp, and you know, whether or not that's a play so I can send Kemp back to the top of the lineup if she's out, or do I trust the bat that she's good enough to hit the ball in and bat me in another run? It's all the questions that get asked at this level with the best players and the best coaches. It's just great to see this level of softball being played. And you're seeing it all live on Spacequake Sports. All 34 games. You can currently check this game out, which we hope that you're enjoying. And of course, you can also check out the other game where the home state have found themselves in a 3-0 hole against the WA Flames, who have jumped out to a lead in the bottom of the third. Ball hit to shortstop, hit to third base as Ritter comes out. It tips off of her glove. Warwick was there to get it, but the tip off the glove from Ritter, and you can see that that means that it's fallen behind Warwick, and that's all it's taken for her to get on. Runner gets over to third.
I think we'll be probably likely see I think the Queensland team here try and drive that runner right around to third as quick as they can, bring the runner home and drive them, get them really right around to the third base.
Well, at 2 out now, they've got no margin for error in regards to running a 1-3 play, but a foul as Maddie McLeod comes off what looks like either bottom of the bat, handle of the bat, I'm not sure, but
bit of a check swing.
Check swing, yeah, but it's gone on the fence behind. I'll tell you what, if the WA can upset the Stars in that other game down there on Diamond 2, this game becomes even more important for the Heat in a massive way, especially with the win by Victoria against them earlier today. McLeod finds herself behind in the count. 2 strikes. We've got runners at 1 and 3. It's 2 out. We're on the top of the third. It's the Heat 2, the Diamond 0. High in the zone. How sharp is Robin? She's already, that ball, literally, she's just caught that, and she's already up, making sure that that runner, Kemp, stays pinned on first. Super impressive, the young catcher from the ACT. Great pitch by Parker, breaking down. McLeod throws her hands at it, tall, powerful athlete, and she fouls it off down the third base line.
Yeah, I said in the last game, Sam Robin, she gets up very quick from behind that plate. Once the pitch hits that glove, she is up and ready, left hand ready to go. And we've already seen it work once with the caught stealing out at second. So,
yeah, and what a big play that's come back to be. Runner's gone.
Left early by the look of it.
And seems to be happening a little bit around here at the moment. Kemp gets called out for leaving the base early. That means that McLeod will get to have her at bat yet again.
Yeah, that's watching that, she was off and gone. The coach didn't even query that one. He knew what was going on.
Yeah, Jordan Harris unfortunately busted against WA last night. Kiara Rigg got busted yesterday afternoon against New South Wales when it was, it was late and there was a game late in the day. So it's no, we keep on talking about. We've got the best the best players in the country here playing softball. We've got the best statisticians. We've got the best broadcast group, even producer Brandon. But we've also got the best umpires in the country here. So. And just behind the plate today, we've got the young Brett Tyler, who was just awarded his level 6 at the last Nationals of the under-23s here in December. So it's bottom of the third. The ACT Diamonds now chasing 2, which could have been much more as an opportunity lost. It's going to be
Tess Henman.
I'm glad you said that. I was looking at the other side of that paper.
That ball to start off.
A player to look out for is the scout report on this young and rising superstar. Genuine speed, reads the game beautifully, and an aggressive, good contact hitter. Can play short, but can also put the ball where she likes. Here, she's fouled it off over to the third base line. Third base Taylor Evans does a great jump trying to get over to it, but it's a foul ball.
She had 3 hits to last night. Hits mainly out to the centre left sort of area, so she obviously gets onto the pitch nice and early and makes good contact with the ball. That one there just creeping a bit low. 1 and 2 the call.
Solomon keeping that ball out of those big power hitting zones of the ACT hitters. Hammond having to work hard here. She's got the pace sorted out. Could be a change inbound. It's an off-pace pitch, but Henman saw it coming, sets her hands back, and does a great team back. Just drives it up the middle, uses the shot, and just puts the ball into place for a great lead-off single.
That was a good hit, that. Got down low on it. Didn't try to belt it, just placed it out there, and nice one bounce into the glove and gets herself to first and brings to the box Savannah Ritter.
Ritter lays down a bunt, picked up by Evans at third. She's advanced the runner, though. Had a tough game in the last one, Ritter, against the quality pitching staff of New South Wales, but she's done a team job here as she's advanced Henman over to second. Brings right fielder Kalani Salu, who started the rally up against New South Wales in the last game with a single to left field against Kaya Parnaby, no less.
Yeah, Kalani swings strong there at the first. She had it all over the place in that last game. She was injured, she was not injured, she was hitting, she was catching.
Yeah, she had it all going on, and as you can see, we checked in on her. She's A-OK. She must be, because she's standing here facing Emily Solomon. Shows bunt. Jessica Rohde super quick as she gets up that ball in the dirt, but she was already standing ball in hand as the speedster Henman at second didn't want to test the arm and stays pinned on the base.
She's got a long way off the base there with the bunt in the first and third coming down, so see if they go again.
Salute just pushes at it, changes the angle. That's enough for her just to foul it off. Now falls behind in the count.
Can get this one out there and get on base, she'll turn around to the top of the lineup.
Yes, you've got some power coming. You've got Warwick on the back of her first inning strikeout, no less. And then Redcliffe, who hit an absolute rocket to centre field. If it didn't hit the fence, it was going to go through it. She hit it that hard. So there's some power to come.
Does well to get back in the count here, makes it the full count.
Nerves of steel as she takes that inside pitch.
Queensland coaching staff just providing some advice to the base plate umpire there.
And Solomon throws a rocket herself, and Salou chases it and fouls it off.
Yeah, so two of the first three at bats at the top of the lineup, putting it out to the outfield at their first turn at bat, and then obviously Claire Warwick with a lengthy turn at bat getting struck out. If they can replicate that and just put a couple of those flies out there into fair territory, it's a different game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great call, Pete. And Salou swings over it. Solomon wins the battle with a great breaking ball at the plate for the very important second out. He may sound like he's new to you. He's new to us, young Pete, here on the comms. He's doing a great job in only his second day of volunteer employment. So he's doing a great job. Cooper wastes no time getting after it. So we're looking for some encouragement and let him know that he's doing a great job, because he's one of the group of volunteers here that are helping out to try and help bring you the broadcast all around Australia and around the world, courtesy of Spacequake Sports. All games of the Gilley Shield being televised live. Cooper gets a similar pitch that Salou looked at, and it's a 1-1 count. She flied out to left field in her first at bat. 2 out. Now that time, now I would, if I had my coach's hat on, I would be setting Henman now. Cooper chases again as she fouls off another one over the first base bench of the Queensland Heat.
Yeah, Henman standing out there at second. If she was just on third with this lineup, you'd think that there's potential for a run if one of the top ones can get a nice safe hit, but fly
this
up
one,
there.
And good communication between the second base and shortstop of Queensland as Whitefield calls out Yamani and takes the catch and retires the Diamonds. Not before they got a runner on and got it a second, but they've left her stranded there as Solomon has helped shut down the Diamonds. Moving now into the top of the third. Just see here on the Eastern replay the good catch taken. Sorry, top of the fourth. We're going into.
Yeah, Tamika came across there. Any number of those infielders probably could have got that. The pitcher was nearly even back to it. Shortstop came across, but when it was up there and she calls, I think you just get out her way.
Yes, yes. Just checking in on the socials here, just because obviously we know there's a big crowd watching this game around Australia at the moment, and they're currently seeing the Queensland Heat with a 2-0 lead over the ACT Diamonds in a game that's super important as the final ladder starting to take shape here on day 3 of the Gilley Shield. Manny McLeod started her at-bat last innings, but she got on another shot as Kemp was caught leaving early in her attempt to steal. So Manny McLeod gets another starting at-bat. She hit a single to left field for her first time.
Yeah, just snuck through past the glove of the third base on that occasion out to the left fielder. So a repeat, we'll see her get on base for sure here.
Well, you've got a fan in Queensland, as Danny Moffat says, good job, Pete. Thanks for helping to bring the game to everybody out there. Appreciate that, Danny. Good pitch by Parker. Super impressive as McLeod chases up a rise ball as she struck out in her second at bat.
And I think, as I've said it in the last game, ACT, they're not that far behind these other teams. They're just missing the power of someone like in New South Wales, where they can go from 1 to 9 with the big hits to defence. That's all they're missing defensively. As long as there's no errors, they don't really tend to have too much left behind out there on that field.
It's the catcher, Jessica Rodee, showing some of her dancing prowess there at the plate as the ball's in the dirt and she jumps out of the way.
Well, we know she's flexible with that catching style, so those feet were always going to be out of the way of that ball.
Absolutely. Shows bunt. It's a bit heavy as far as it's got a little bit more on it, and that allows Parker to not have to leave the circle. Great idea. Unfortunately, just a little bit harder. She just needed to have it get there a little bit slower as Roadies run up the line and turns it into what was a very close play, just missing out by a yard. Third base player Brooke Evans is next to the plate.
Yeah, that last out just probably pushed at the bunt a little bit, which made its way up to the pitcher a bit too easily. Made the easy out over the first. Last time, obviously, Taylor was in a position where she was looking to bunt early on with a runner on, so this time she's got clear bases.
And she's hit it in the 6-5 hole out to McCready at left field. McCready, the ball's gone through her and it's gone all the way out to the fence as Evans now rounds home as Coach Jenkins sends her as the throw comes in via the relay, and she's gone on to score for an infield home run to third base. Taylor Evans on the error at left field. We'll see here on the Eastern replay what happened. Yeah, just got on her a bit.
No, we've got to change here. She's been called out for obstruction on the throw-in for the third out, so no run. The ball was thrown in, the catcher was in a position to field it, and it seems to have hit her in the legs on the way through.
So, yeah, if the ball hits the... Oh, there. How?
No, it was Deb Keogh at home called her for obstruction, right there. So she's been given out for obstruction at home.
Wow. Drama at the ballpark.
No, interference, we're calling it interference.
Yeah. Oh, it's not even anything to do with interference.
No, she's missed the first base.
She's missed the base as she's rounded. The first base. Any chance that we can go back and see her on the way rounding first? No, of course not. We're going to be watching the ball out there.
Okay.
No, the Mr. Magic on the screens. We're just trying to see if we can see some see the missed first base. That's a strange call. Right, can you just go back, producer Brad? That's it. He's just found it. You can just see Evans as she turns in. She turns in, and her front foot.
Oh yeah,
it just lands in.
Just short of the orange, and then off she goes.
What a great pickup by the blue umpire down there at first base.
Deb Keogh out at first.
Wow, this game's just got everything happening here. Claire Warwick being time in the bottom of the fourth as we unpack all of that. Great work, producer Brandon from Spacequake Sports, able to show you exactly what's happening there as...
And that just shows why the umpires need to keep the eyes on the play.
Warwick grounds out to third base. The player in question, where all the action is at the moment, Taylor Evans. So we'll unpack it all. There you can just see on the Eastern replay, Warwick hits a hard ground ball.
Well, so far the Queensland coaches shown a bit of frustration, but on both occasions,
it's got
been correct.
Yeah, absolutely. The powerful Jamie Redcliffe comes to the plate. I mean, that's a momentum shift in a massive way, because that's 3-0, bit of everything's rolling. You're about to come back through the top of your line, and now that momentum's put to a stop, and the ACT are going to take it themselves as Redcliffe hits the fence 2/3 of the way up on the full, and just casually as you like jogs into second with an impressive double hit to left centre field.
Yeah,
wow.
That was a very strong hit, that one. Just travelled nicely, nice little curl on it. Everything about that was textbook. And she'll be very happy seeing herself out at second with only the one out and a runner coming on now to go out and run for her as Bree Kimber. That's
great batting by Redcliffe as we now see Rebecca McDonald in the clean-up spot. She'll be playing second base today. And she'll be given the task here of trying to halve this lead of the Queensland Heat. So, for those just joining us, it's the bottom of the fourth. The ACT Diamonds are batting. They've got a runner at second and their clean-up batter at the plate. It's one out. They're chasing Queensland 2-0. And Emily Solomon pitches, and it's a ball on the inside. Tell you what, it's all happening. And McDonald just leans into it, overlap. Oh my God, what a great catch by Rhiannon Kemp. Going back to the fence, she sticks an arm out, and wow, see this on the Eastern replay.
That's a great catch.
That's a line drive, and she's just stuck a glove out to it. As here's another angle, that's hit like a tracer bullet out to her. And she's jumped in the air, going back towards the starting to run towards the fence.
That's a good catch.
Oh, and
another one.
McCready, first pitch, smashes a tracer bullet of her own straight back at Solomon, who reflex throws her glove out and takes a great catch. If you just see that, as you can see, the skills on display here at the Gilley Shield, as Queensland have just pulled off a couple of back-to-back outstanding plays. This game's got it all so far, Peter. What's
off the back of the Queensland bat, where I don't even know how to score that last out. We're missing a base, so I've just put out. And then ACT to come out, get a runner on base early, turn around then and have a fantastic catch at left field. That had that catch not have been taken, that was definitely a run, and it was probably another person sitting out on second, and then a nice hard line drive first pitch straight back at the pitcher, throws the glove up in almost protection, takes the catch.
So, going to give you an update down there on Diamond 2 in the other game that's playing parallel to us at the same time. It's the top of the fifth innings, and it's the Western Australian Flames 3 over the South Australian Stars in what could be a huge game in regards to the ramifications of the ladder. So you can see now, I think there's been a change. Oh, this is Hanson's first bat as the ACT play a defensive shift here with the field coming in. Third base, you can see Ritter is already halfway down the line. The shortstop Warwick well inside the line. All of the outfield's been brought right up as they try and respect the speed that Hanson's got. She drops it. Drops the bunt, but it's gone. The running bunt's just gone foul across the line. That was a very exciting 10 or 15 minutes of softball there.
Went a little wild.
There was plenty going on all at once there. Parker makes it as hard as she can with a great pitch to the very speedy Hanson. But Hanson drops her hands, gets contact on it, fouls it off. Over to the third base side. Queensland desperate to get a runner on.
And looks like Redcliffe's re-entered at first here. So Brie Kimber came out to run for her, and she's done her job. Albeit didn't get a chance to get around.
All right. Wow, top of the fifth. This game right on a knife edge. Queensland in the middle of back-to-back games with so much to play for. They were 3-3 with Victoria for some time. Hanson stays alive as she flies fouls it off, sorry, behind the plate. And the ACT Diamonds coming off of a win, as Pete said a couple of times. There's some really positive signs in their hitting lineup, just demonstrated too by some of the shots that we just saw in the last innings. They just need to keep Queensland at bay here. And Parker at the moment, Lauren Parker is doing an amazing job with Sam Robin, who's also caught back-to-back games with basically no break. So ACT right in this, but they've got to keep the Queensland heat at 2. Hanson continues to frustrate the ACT infield here. They've all come in. The outfield's all adjusted. She's made the entire defense change for her, which is a great sign by Hanson, as they obviously are respecting her super speed that she has. As she just puts the ball into play, and the defensive shift pays off for McDonald at second base, as she takes a good catch. It nearly paid off for Hanson.
Yeah, that was a good piece of fielding, ACT. The shortstop and second just came inside the running line there for a bit and just managed to play off that catch. Nearly snuck over her.
Yeah, you could see what she was trying to do. She could see where she was trying to put it. Queensland now, Tamika Whitefield, the second base player. She's had an interesting day so far. She's hit a single to left field, she's hit a single to right field, and then she tried to steal a base and just got thrown out by arguably one of the best throws that you've seen, caught by the Australian shortstop in Claire Warwick. Parker goes to the other side of the plate this time now and picks up another strike as she goes. No balls, 2 strikes ahead of the count. Queensland Heat 1 out in the top of their lineup.
One outside. This game, it says 2-0, top of the 5th, but it is very, very, very clear that it could be almost an even ball game, if not ACT's way. They've been hitting. Queensland have had an error by not touching a base. They've had a lucky tag out over at second.
Parker ahead in the count, takes the ball away from the zone, and Whitefield does a good job of staying disciplined and away from that rise ball. Yeah, this game could be anything right now. Change of pace, and Whitefield does a great job of holding their hands back and drives it up the middle. So Whitefield gets on. It's 1 out here in the top of the 5th, as you can just see on the Eastern replay. Good batting by the second base player.
She's had a single out to 7, a single out to 9, and she's fixed it with a single to 8.
Yeah. We'll have to find out from Eric what the cycle of that is in regards to hitting.
Good
hitting, yes. Jade Wall, the centre fielder, comes to the plate with 1 out. First pitch, she goes swinging hard. It looked like it was a hit and run because Whitefield was a long way down that line. Coach Jenkins super aggressive here. There's a sense of urgency about Queensland in the way they're going about this. They are attacking the Diamonds, just trying to force something to happen here in regards to pushing that score. That heartbreaking loss the game before, and down on Diamond 2, what could be construed as maybe upset of the week so far. It's the Flames 3, the Stars 0. Outside, Robin, as she's been doing all day long, straight up with a runner on, does a good job of making sure that Whitefield stays where she's at.
Interesting, we 1 out to see if they're going to be sending Whitefield at any stage here. She's got the 2 strikes, so it's probably a bit too late now.
Parker has done a great pitch there, as she has 2 strikeouts against one of the better players in Australian softball in Jade Wall. That's a huge, huge play. It now makes it 2 out. shortstop and clean-up hitter for the Heat. It's Suzuki Yamane.
She's already had a couple of nice big hits out to the outfield here. A double out to left and a single out to centre field, straight back through the pitcher that one was. So
yep, scored the first run of the game off her bat. Whitefield goes, Yamane goes, it's gone to left field. McCready goes back, it's bounced off the Dental for School sign out at left field as Whitefield scores. Yamane slides into 3, and before anything else happens, let's just, no obstructions, no other plays. No, we're all good. It's legit this time. And you can see here on the Eastern replay, again, it looked like a hit and run. McCready, the ball's been hit out to her an awful lot. It's just one bounce into the fence by the shortstop Yamane. Oh, no, it's hit the fence on the full. I take that back. And now it doesn't get any easier as the powerful Brooke McNamara comes to the plate, as she's got a runner at 3. And Queensland get that run they so desperately wanted as they now make it 3-0 in top of the 5th.
It'll be interesting to see if Yamane gets another turn at bat. She's got a single,
yeah,
a double, and a triple, and that wasn't that far off that clearing.
That's why she's batting in the spot. Somebody get Eric out here. He loves the cycle.
Titsa Cronus couldn't do it. She did better than it yesterday with 2 home runs when all she needed was a double. Could Yamane do it today?
Ball in the dirt, Robin up, but it's just gone too far away from the diamond. As quick as Redcliffe was there to get ready for a play at the plate, Yamane's just too fast. And unfortunately for the Diamonds, another run scores. That's heartbreaking as they now go down 4-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. McNamara behind in the count. And she chases it. And it's side away, and it's just amazing in softball what happens in just one pitch. If that had happened a pitch before, that run wouldn't have scored, but ball in the dirt. Queensland gets some very, very important runs. Good pitching there by Parker. She's been really impressive today. Big strikeouts against some great batters. She's got 2 against Wall, 1 against McNamara, another 1 against Maddie McLeod, and now she's got 2 against the power hitter. That is McNamara. That's a great day's work, but unfortunately the score doesn't reflect it because they're down 4-0.
And the disappointing thing there for ACT would have been that they had 2 out with only a runner on first, Queensland, and they still managed to get the next hit clearing out to the left field, brought home 1 of them. And then the next one, a pass ball that got them another run in. So with 2 out, they still managed to score 2 runs, Queensland. That'll be the part that ACT will review on that inning.
Yeah, well said, Pete. This is going to be a really interesting innings here because Solomon has given us 5 quality innings of work so far. 4 innings of quality work so far. Here she is. It's the bottom of the 5th. ACT chasing a run. It's the catcher, Sam Robin. Early strike for the young pitcher from Queensland. Tell you what, Sam Robin, when she goes back to the accommodation today, she's going to know she's played a couple of games of softball. She's had a big day.
Do you reckon ice baths might be on the card?
Yeah. Trying to find an ice bath in Adelaide. That's going to be what's on the cards. Maybe just go down to Diamond 2 and just hang out there for a couple of hours tonight. That's as good as an ice bath.
Wet all your clothes and stand in the wind.
Yeah. Ground out to second base was Robin's first at bat. Here she is leading off the 5th with a fly ball out to centre field, and a great piece of fielding by the experienced Jade Wall. You can see there for the young players at home, glove up, protecting her eyes from the sun, allows her to track the ball into her glove. Great outfielding by one of the best.
Another one there where ACT have got a ball out deep into the outfield for a fly out. I think it makes it about probably 4 or 5 for the match where they've cleared it out there. They just can't get them on the ground.
Yeah. On the ground is what Solomon's just pitched that ball. I don't think that came out the way that anybody intended. as she forces Rhodey to go and get it.
I tell you what, if she gives up her game of softball, she'll be a great 10-pin bowler.
Yes, they had some heat on her. Tess Henman, the super fast outfielder in centre field for the ACT. She's already had a single today. ACT desperately need her to do it again because they need a base runner. They're chasing the heat, 4-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Flies it over high into the infield, and a well-judged catch there by Taylor Evans at third base.
Yeah, not the way she would have liked to have ended that one. Just a little pop-up into the third there. Gives the second out.
And just like that, it's 2 out.
And looking down the right field line, Zali Summers has put the brakes on her warm-up, and we've got down there Sandra Holden throwing a few down.
Yeah, so the veteran, she did this yesterday. They brought her in to do the close at the end of the game. Great control. We had the speed gunner on her at the 2022 Nationals, and she's fastest pitch we saw her was 101. So she's still got the capability. And she is living proof that 40's the new 20, because she's still very much in control of her craft, and did a great job yesterday. Been a great stalwart for
Got a time
Queensland.
out here.
You might have already called it, Pete. It might have already happened. So we've had 2 pitches in the dirt here. Coach Jenkins picking up the signals there that we've had 1 loose out on this side, we've had 1 loose on the inside. The young pitcher thrown against this quality lineup.
No movement coming from Queensland off the bench though, so it might just be a reminder to just go back to the job. They're in front, just got to hold the batters. They've got the 2 out.
Well, they're 2 out, and the important thing is that they're number 8 in the lineup. So they've got Ritter, who had a sacrifice in her first at-bat. So the important thing for Solomon here, I think that message would have been, hey, listen, let's not get past Salou. Let's make sure that we get either this batter or the next one, and we'll let Sandy bring this thing home, and she can get the 3rd look at this lineup, because that's what's going to happen as they move into the 6th and the 7th. Grounds it straight back to Solomon, who, just like last innings, as she had to finish the innings last time with a line drive that was smashed at her, this time she gets a slow roller, she does the work herself, and as Coach Jenkins wants, she has retired the diamonds. Robin's already behind the plate for the ACT. She's up and about. The diamonds are ready to go.
The speed at which she gets up, she probably just popped up out the dirt. She was probably there the whole time.
So we move into the top of the 6th, not the innings that the Diamonds wanted. Now the challenge becomes, as they late in the game, they didn't want to give up any more runs. Unfortunately, on the back of a Tamika Whitefield single and then a Suzuki Yamane just near home run, as she's gone 3 for 3 for the day, if you don't mind, bounces it off the Dental for School signs and scores Whitefield, and then goes on and scores off the pass ball. Picks up the extra 2, and that's allowed Queensland going out to a 4-zip lead over the ACT. They're in the middle of their lineup. Rhiannon Kemp, who just 10 minutes ago just took one of the best catches you'll see running back, just jumps into the air, threw a glove out on a tracer that was hit out to left field. Here she is leading off the 6th for the Queensland Heat.
Yeah, she's had an iffy start to the game. She had a nice fly out to left field for her first at bat. Then got on from an error at third base where it just flicked the glove and rolled out just wide of the shortstop, and she managed to get herself on. She's at 1-1 already here in the count. Of course, last time at bat on the base, she was about 3 steps off the base when the pitch let go, so got pinged for that one.
Yeah, but she made up for it with that catch. Now she's got a clean slate to be able to bat away and be on base for the Heat. Later today at 5:30, we've got down on Diamond 2, it's going to be the Victorian Titans in their 2nd game of the day up against the South Australian Stars, the home team. And then later tonight at 8 p.m, the main game, Victoria Titans versus the WA Flames.
Could be a late night. That's a cracking match at the end. WA, if they're still, I don't know the score down there, but they're doing it nicely over SA now, and they have been really strong. For a team that's called in the rebuild,
Yeah.
they're rebuilding quick.
Coach Swinburne would say the same thing. He's a ripper. Kemp stays off that pitch on the outside. I'll be calling that game with the better half later this evening at 8 p.m. So it's the bottom of the 6, Pete, down there in Diamond 2, and the score hasn't changed. It's WA 3, SA 0. Kemp, great bat. She hits a single up the middle, just finds the space between Parker and McDonald, and just puts the ball exactly where she wants to.
Yeah, that was a nice hit. Straight down on the ground, straight out past the pitcher. Didn't give them a chance.
And hopefully there's some applause for Parker as she comes off after just what has been a great pitching effort. It's just not worked out their way. I mean, unfortunately, for all the great strikeouts, there's been some hits and a couple of things have happened in the field, but that was an impressive performance by the young pitcher from New Zealand. But in the end, hits to Whitefield, hits to Yamane, coming back through the line, just couldn't expose her to the top of that Queensland lineup for a 4th time. So Coach Carroll's pulled the trigger and he's gone to the same pitcher from last game, and that is Melanie Thorburn. And she did a good job against New South Wales at the end there. She's been effective when she's come in. She's done some good things, got some good ball rotation, and she's quite pacey. So she's got the difficult task now of having to try and keep Queensland to 4 to give the Diamonds some breathing space with their last 6 outs to try and come up with some runs to take this game further.
I've seen a little bit of Mel. She's Melanie Thorburn. She's been pretty handy with the pitching as well. She's quite a effortless pitcher. It just sort of goes through her stride and gets to the plate pretty comfortably. And as you said there, Lauren Parker haven't had a reasonable game. They got a few hits on her. 91 pitches in total, 61 strikes and 30 balls. So she was putting it in the position to get the outs. But unfortunately, Queensland were liking them down the zone.
Yeah, Tamika Whitefield's had a day out. Suzuki Yamane's had a better day out. It's a tough lineup to get a top of, but they did a good job. She had big strikeouts. I mean, Jay Wall, none for 2 if you don't mind, and the shorts, the lead-off position. Unfortunately for Queensland, Maddie McLeod's come on with Kemp at first, and Thorburn's first pitch is up. McLeod's got underneath it, and the ball's gone up into the air. And the sacrifice has not come off as she's flied out. Jessica Rhodey, the catcher from Queensland, comes to the plate. Kemp is at first. We're in the top of the 6, and it's 1 out.
So far, Rhodey's given the pitcher a bit of work. She's had a sack punt and
a ball hit back to her.
Hit straight back at her. So she's the pitcher, you throw it at me, I'll hit it back at you style.
Yeah, it's her first look at Melanie Thorburn today, and so see how she approaches this. Shows bunt, but brings her hands back as she goes out to right field. Just good catch by Kalani Salou as that ball was dropping in. The right side of our diamond is where the breeze comes from, from the beach. So diamond 2's far out to our right. That's a great catch by.
It was a fantastic catch. That ball was hit up high, it was spinning, it was turning, the ball was dropping with the wind, and she was going full pelt in to catch that, and it needed to be held.
2 out, and the number 9 hitter, it's the third base, Taylor Evans, who last at bat, if you don't mind, was going to score an infield home run before she was caught missing first base. She gets an opportunity to rectify that. Rhiannon Kemp is at first base. It's 2 out. Throws her hands at it, goes hard, and it flies out over the first base of the Queensland Heat for a strike.
Of course, missing the base was her error, but it saved the error out left field for Sam McCready when it scooted out between her legs.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Keeps that one off the scorebooks.
Yeah. She's gone to the opposite side. This one's going to fall in front of Salou, and Kemp had already rounded second, was on her way to third, and looked every bit like she was going to go all the way to the plate. And a single by the number 9 in Evans has put runners in the corners. How fast is Rhiannon Kemp?
She was gone past second before that ball was even picked up. I reckon she was nearly halfway to third. And they were definitely trying to keep the play to hold the runner at first.
Yeah.
Could have been interesting if they sort of got themselves in a little trap there, but with 2 out, that wasn't going to be the risk they were going to be taking.
So since Thornburn's come on, all of the hitting pretty much today with Whitefield single to left, McLeod with a single to left, Yamane with a double and a triple to left. Now with Thornburn pitching, it's all gone the other way. A re-entry, Hampson comes out as Tasumi comes back into the game as we have runners at 1 and 3, 2 out for the Heat. Ball in the dirt, it's gone wide, and unfortunately for the Diamonds, that pass ball has cost them another run as they now go down 5-0. You could just see Thorburn ball wide of the plate, runner at 1 and 3, and Robin tries, she just wasn't able to keep it in, and a diving play at the plate scores Queensland's 5th run. Tasumi goes out to left field. McCready tracks it all the way over the foul line and takes a good catch to retire the Heat. But once again, same thing happened last innings. You see here on the Eastern replay, good fielding by McCready. Eyes on the ball the entire time, hasn't looked anywhere else. But as it happened the innings before for the Heat, the pitch before there was a pass ball, the next pitch it was out. Same things happened this innings. Those last 2 pitches has cost them 2 runs, which would have been a 3-0 game. It's unfortunately 5 as they're in the bottom of the 6th now. They're chasing 5 to level it up, 6 to go ahead. Solomon continues her work as she moves into the top of the 6th, the bottom of the 6th.
It looks like someone's doing some changes here. We'll just catch up to it in a second.
So we're in the 7th innings down on Diamond 2. We've just given you an update from around the Diamonds here. And WA still leading 3. South Australia have got 1 back. It's 3-1 to the Flames, bottom of the 7th.
And Laura Pardo is the incoming batter here for Kalani Salou. She's seen her first pitch for a strike.
Yeah, we saw a bit. She came in the previous game. She first pitch would struggle with the pace, and then she quickly adjusted, and on the second pitch she was ready to go. So Solomon changes the pace herself as Rhodey does a great job of framing that ball, letting umpire Tyler have a good look at it, but still no reward. The count, 1-1. Bottom 6, the lead off, Pardo.
That one looked pretty good down the middle. She had a really good look at it, but chose against the swing, and it's cost her.
A young veteran of the ACT team. And here she's flied it out. Wall comes charging in, but Whitefield calls her out and takes a well-judged catch just behind second base. Just see here it on the Eastern replay.
Yeah, it was a nice hit up. Whitefield made the way around behind, kept eyes on ball the whole time. I'm sure she's made the early call because centre and short never really looked like they were coming in for it.
So you'd imagine the leash should be reasonably short because this is Solomon's 3rd time through the top of the ACT lineup. She starts with the leadoff, Lexi Cooper. And
is that another one that's hit the Skittles?
I think that's a spare, I think, not a strike.
Spare, right.
Yep, that's
probably close to the gutter, to be honest.
That's probably. Solomon versus Cooper for the third time today. Cooper gets the ball in the middle, and so often as it happens, when you've seen a picture a couple of times throughout the course of a day, the odds start to turn in your favour, and Cooper's used that opportunity as she has got herself on with a single up the middle.
Yeah, she hit out to left field with her first hit, and a little pop lighter second for the second, so it wasn't to be unexpected that she'd get bat on ball there.
Claire Warwick gets caught on the handle. This ball comes in. There's Rhiannon Kemp has done a great diving effort as she's tried to catch that ball. Watch it here on the Eastern replay. Kemp so fast and at full extension has dived for that ball. Claire Warwick just got it high on the bat. You can see that Yamani called out quickly, and Kemp eyes for the ball the entire time, and it's just tipped in her glove. And Solomon now, third time round in the lineup. Cooper on, Warwick on. It's the cleanup hitter. Oh, sorry, no, it's before that, it's Jamie Redcliffe, who has looked lights out today at the plate. She's hit a deep fly to 8 and a double line drive traceable at Solomon's third time. And just throws her hands with it, but the ball's just going to drop down on the right fielder, Tatsumi, who's come in, and Solomon can say that she got out of that one.
She did. There was potential for that to go a bit messy for Queensland. Someone who's been hitting really well, really strong power, but she just sort of poked at it and pushed it out that way. And
just sort of went with it. She probably could have taken a few more pitches there, Redcliffe, but it's makes no difference. She's flied out to a good catch, brings the cleanup hitter McDonald to the plate, who's gone the other way today. She's gone out to left field. So for a couple of caught balls by Kemp, the last one being an absolute great catch. This time she goes down the third base line, and bang, Taylor Evans takes a hard ground ball on the bounce, plays her own base and retires the Diamonds. Again, base runners left on, the Diamonds threaten, and that's just that last piece of the puzzle. They're getting 90% of it done. They just can't get that last piece.
Yeah, I think, you know, ACT, we've said it all along that they're not a bad team. They're getting the people on the bases. They're just not getting them across the plate. And sometimes that comes down to good defensive work. We saw a nice catch there at right field. But this case here was just really, really alert third base. Does the backhand fielding, and then steps back on, gets the forced out at third. Puts them away, and runners on left on base is what will cost you in the end of a tournament, and it might cost ACT a win here.
Emily Solomon, super impressive in 6 innings of work today, and she's just thrown through the top part of that ACT lineup. She's going to be facing the number 5th batter if she goes into the 7th. So that's a great job by the young rising pitching superstar from the Queensland Heat. Just going to see if we can check in and get a score update for you on what's happening down there on Diamond 2. It's still in the 7th. It's still WA 3 and SA 1. It's the bottom of the 7th. So as the Stars continuing to fight back there after an impressive win against New South Wales this morning. So leading off for Queensland, it's Tamika Whitefield. Her first time facing the new pitcher, Thorburn.
I've just seen a change made there again. I'm not sure which one it was. Someone's out and someone's in.
99, 70.
So ACT has number 99 has gone out, number 7 has come in.
You know what I was going to say, Peter? I can't believe I'm about to say this. I was just going to say, why don't you just ask your mum?
Yeah. She tells me she knows everything.
Tamika ahead of the count, gets a ball on the inside, and doesn't get all of it, but she gets enough of it to get the ball to shortstop. Warwick isn't able to gather it cleanly on the first attempt. She knocks it down, and with a quick release, she still makes a play at first, but Whitefield quick enough to get up the first base line, as you can just see here on the Eastern replay.
So it's Robin who's gone out behind the plate, and McCready has come on in. Caitlin McCready comes in behind.
It's very kind of the ACT coaching staff just to leave Sam Robin out there for 12 innings back-to-back with no break. But
maybe she's finally told him she's tired.
Yeah, great effort by the young catcher from the ACT. A couple of pass balls, unfortunately, costing a couple of late runs. So Thorburn now throwing to Jade Wall, who's overdue in a big way after 2 strikeouts to Parker, the starter, and a walk. Be rare that there'd be too many days that her report card would be showing that. It's her first look today at Thorburn. She's got Tamika Whitefield over at first. It's none out, and we're in the top of the 7th.
Tamika Whitefield's had another cracking game. 3 hits and on in that one on an error.
And this time, Wall gets the ball into play as it's gone over the glove of Ritter at third of a hard ground shot that's been hit to her, and turns it into a single. You can see here on the Eastern replay, hit powerfully, but it's just gone over the glove of Ritter. And Queensland again, base runners at first and second, none out. And it's the cleanup hitter, shortstop, Suzuki Yamane. Shows bunt.
She's looking for it.
Brings her hands back. Ball flies out now to right field. Whitefield tags up and goes, and is safe at third as the ball comes in on the tag as Ritter loses it in the dirt. Wall tags up and she makes it to second. So Yamane has hit an advancing sacrifice out to right field. Power hitter Brooke McNamara comes to the plate with runners at 2 and 3. Just see there on the Eastern replay as that transition throw comes in. Great slide in by Whitefield.
Yeah, she probably had the memories of the earlier one where she slid into second and got the perfect throw and the perfect tag. But on that occasion, she dug herself in. Third base couldn't keep hold of the ball, and she got herself there safely. Jade Wall tagged up. Once the throw went to third, she scooted across to second. And definitely a bit of team play there by Yamane. She was looking for the circle, but instead she put the ball out to get it deep, mate. Get these runners around.
I'll tell you what, it's selfish batting. You know, you've hit a single, you've hit a double, you've hit a triple, you've got an option to go the cycle. All you've got to do is hit a home run, and she chooses to sacrifice herself and just do a team bat, advance the runners stuff. What great batting by a superstar for the Heat, Yamane. She's been sensational all week, and again, that's just highlighted it even more. She's now left it to the power hitter McNamara, who's come to the plate. Haven't had the great day herself, so she's also due 2 strikeouts and a fly out to 7.
Yeah, the fly to 7 earlier in the day, that was a sacrifice which I think brought home Jade Wall for the second run for Queensland. So
yep.
Does that again here, and she'll score another 2 over the plate.
That's right. Thorburn really keeping the ball off the edges of the plate, either side. I can see people starting to walk back from Diamond 2, which can only mean one thing, that game's finished. And in the upset of the Gilley Shield, the Western Australian Flames, as we can see here, McNamara has ground out to third. Ritter gets the ball on a couple of bounces. She looks to throw to first, and in the process of making up her mind, she's gone back to the plate. The throw is high to McCready, who can't make the tag on the runner that slid in underneath. And whilst that's all been happening, it's interrupted my breaking news story, which is the upset of the Gilley Shield. Western Australia, the rebuild, as you said before, Peter. 3 have defeated the SA Stars 1 in a game that has just thrown this tournament wide open.
Just when you think you see SA having a cracking first game today, sorry, SA knocking off New South Wales earlier and doing that, and then going out there and WA coming over the top of them again, just puts everything back to clambered board.
Yep, it's just craziness. So back to the action here. Rihanna Kemp, she's had a very busy day. She's flied out to left field. She's been caught stealing in a big play at second base. She's gone with a great shot up the middle. Here she has runners in the corners at first and third. It's one out for the, is it one out or none out for the Heat?
I got one out.
Got one out for the Heat.
And we've got Dorinda Stones come over onto a run for Brooke McNamara here. She comes into the game.
So I'm just trying to look at the ladder here and just trying to figure out the implications of that. So Queensland, good batting by Kemp. She stays off the up pitches of Thorburn. So I'm just looking at the implications of that. So Queensland, this is as it started today. So they're going to go to 4-3 if this game holds. So that means WA. Great change up by Thorburn. But again, unfortunately, it's caused a pass ball. The throw, as the runner has stolen, come back around. The throw's gone wild.
Yeah, that one there just got a little bit loose from McCready out the right-hand side. She flicked it back. It missed the two that were at the plate. They've had to pick it up and try to get then out at third, and it missed the third base, and left field picks it up. So a little bit of sloppiness there from ACT, brought home the run and gets a run around to third.
So not only does that change the order and what's happening here as Queensland go ahead 7-0 over the ACT, that means that SA now have to back up against Victoria. That ball's going to fall in as Kemp picks up another single in the centre as she scores the pinch runner Dorinda Stone. And with that, we're into 8-0, which, like you said in the earlier game, Peter, not a reflection of the ACT, but unfortunately, this is just seems to happen. They just haven't had that rub of the green in that regard. Coming to the plate now, it's the first base player, Maddie McLeod.
Yeah, I think ACT, you know, it's hard over 7 innings against this quality of lineups that you're playing here. The national open teams, you have to be strong and you have to be committed and concentrating the whole time. And the little errors that creep in, whether it be a player who's still developing and maybe not quite onto it, or whether it just be a lapse in concentration, you really have to stay concentrated for the full game and make sure every single pitch and every single ball that's hit counts. Yep. And I think if you take your mind off it and an error creeps in here or there, that's when they get them into scoring position. That's when the good teams will score them.
Yeah, absolutely. Outside pitch, McLeod not interested. Coach, umpire Brett Tyler is, as he calls it a strike. So, wow, what a big night of softball you've got coming up tonight here on Spacequake Sports. These games now, the implications are huge. McLeod leans on it, goes out to left field. Good catch taken by Sam McCready as the ball now comes back in as Kemp's kept on at first base. So that's the second out. And it's the catcher, Jessica Rodee, who's come to the plate.
And she's still waiting to get on base today. She's had a sack bunt to advance some runners. She's then had another one back at the pitcher. She flew out to right field last time, and she'll be looking to try and get herself on with 2 out. It's never too late to score a run.
And there she goes. Well called, Peter, as she's just hit it an inside out behind the runner, single to right field. Great bat by Jessica Rodee, and she's advanced her teammate Rihanna Kemp all the way over to third base. She can't get off the diamond quick enough though, as 2 out. She uses the opportunity for the speed up runner and says, I'm out of here. I've had my hit. And that's a great piece of batting by the popular Queenslander. So runners at 1 and 3 now. And it's the third base player, Taylor Evans, who's had an interesting day to say the least, as in her 4th at-bat, first time facing Thorburn here. Chases a rise high in the zone. Stone stays at first.
getting a bit of a theme about Stone. She came on for Brooke McNamara once she got onto first base. She came on for her. She's come on again as a runner. Obviously has a bit of speed about her and is a very good base runner.
Yeah, she's a good player. Normally plays third for the Heat. Evans gets after it. So big games tonight for those that are watching on Spacequake Sport. The Victoria-South Australia game at 5:30 becomes massive as Victoria have had a chance to rest after their upset win earlier today. Good change up by Thornburn as Evans has to throw her hands out at it and grounds out. So they are retired, and the ACT Diamond will get one more chance to see if they can put some runs on the board here against Queensland. Emily Solomon's gone the distance so far here. She's going to start off the top of the 7th. If she does, that's going to be a super impressive win for the young Queensland superstar. But as I was saying, Pete, sorry, that game tonight is going to be huge. Victoria, heartbreak, big win over Queensland today after all the unluck that they've had in the first 2 days. WA, they've upset SA. Now, without a break, SA have got to face a rested Victoria in a game that's just huge because Victoria are now back in it with that win over Queensland. And then after that game, Western Australia have got to back up for Victoria, who are going to play their 3rd game of the day in what could shape their ladder tomorrow. It's a big night of softball. Spacequake Sports, if you're not here in South Australia, it's going to be the best place to watch it. Actually, it's the only place to watch it. What am I talking about? So,
and I'd say if you're in South Australia and you're somewhere near West Beach, get down here tonight, and if you can, be back tomorrow because it is going to shape as a cracking final day before we go into finals on Friday. You know, the top 2, the second chance is just, in this competition, what you'd see there from 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th is extremely important. If you can snaffle that spot, you're likely going to be playing New South. Who knows what happens with them, but you're likely going to play them in your first game, but you will want that second chance.
Absolutely. I mean, you're looking, so South Australia and New South Wales, we know are through. They're going to play finals guaranteed. SA, good shot by the lead-off here in McCready, and she just gets thrown out on a good piece of fielding by the Queensland Heat. Here you can see Suzuki Yamane, who's just had an amazing day today. She's been great in the field. She's 3 for 3 with the bat and a sacrifice, if you don't mind. Just an absolute superstar. Makes a great play. Back to the top of the lineup, Cooper in her 4th at-bat of the day after a single to centre field.
No, that was Caitlin McCready actually coming in for her first at-bat.
Oh, I've lost my place in the entire lineup then.
And so then we're going to roll down to, well, there's a change. I was going to say it should be Tess Henman coming in.
So it was Sam McCready first, right? I got that right.
Yeah, Sam McCready was first.
She led off, and then Robin, of course, I apologise. Yes, she came out. Yep, so
she's then flown out to centre.
Yep. And now that brings Tess Henman to the plate.
However, it doesn't look like Tess Henman. Is it Alex Maiden?
Yeah, Alex Maiden, I think. Oh, no, 24?
No, 82. Alex Maiden.
Okay. 82, of course, looks nothing like 24. My head's spinning here. I'm looking at the implications of all of these games and how exciting that's going to be. It's all going crazy. Here we go.
Try and work that out, and we'll see how we go. We've only got one more out for the game here, and it's never over till it's over. And Alex Maiden, as we said, you know, she's off to 18s next week over to Perth. She's played 23s. She's had a really good experience out the back just recently with Georgie Plain and Parnaby pitching to her, or Plain pitched to her, and she's got an awesome opportunity here to try and just thank the coach for giving her a chance at the end of the game. And Brett Tyler takes one on the right upper chest there and stands up as if nothing even happened.
Yeah, no, the sleeve. Don't know worry wears a chest guard. Doesn't need to. He's a unit. And ground out to second base as Whitefield finishes the game. as Queensland recover from their loss earlier to Victoria today. So, quick shout out we want to make here is just an acknowledgement of Emily Solomon. Feels like she threw more than 73 pitches, but 4 hits, a couple of big strikeouts, just a great innings worth, a great game from her, great game from a lot of the Queensland players who it was courageous that they had to back up after that loss against Victoria. So they are run-out winners to 8 runs over the ACT here. So that'll be it for ACT today, and that'll be it for Queensland today. That was a good game for an 8-0. Plenty happening.
One innings is all it was.
5:30, Victoria, South Australia, 8 p.m, Vic WA. Thanks for your time, and we'll speak to you soon.